The following video involves alpha phase footage of Zenith, the Last City, that is the intellectual property of Ramen VR. Anything contained herein is subject to and rightly expected to change before even reaching beta without notice to players or public. The purpose of this guide is to provide interested parties and upcoming beta players with an introduction to the game and its potential features in an easily digestible guide. For more information and updates regarding Zenith the Last City, please check out their website or join the official Discord linked below. And while I will attempt to answer questions, I am not a developer for the game and your questions would best be served there. So without further ado, let's get into my Zenith Player's Guide from A to B. Link start! When you first log into the game, you'll be here in Zenith City. It's a very beautiful place. To move around, use your left joystick. To turn your view, use your right joystick. The default motion for turning is snap turning, but this can be changed in your menu if you prefer. To run, press in the left joystick while moving. Running, as with many actions, consumes stamina, and this can be seen on your stamina bar on your HUD to the right of your level and EXP indicators. Any abilities you have will be shown toward the top of your HUD. The health, mana, and shield indicators will appear on the lower portion of your HUD and only show while you're in combat or taking damage. You'll start with a weapon you can grip floating next to you. If you're a mage, you'll start with one projectile launcher, and if you're a swordsman, you'll start with 2 swords. These will be your main method of dealing damage at the start of the game. If you're playing while sitting, which I personally recommend if you intend to play for an extended duration, open your menu with the left controller menu button and click on the webcam looking icon, the third from the right on the bottom, to bring up the Comfort Settings tab. In this menu, you can change what method of climbing, gliding, and turning you prefer. For me, it defaulted to snap turning, and this is actually what I prefer, especially during combat when high motion is necessary. But take the time to explore these options and see what works best for you. Additionally, there are other options in this menu, including some streaming options, which are particularly handy if you aren't using something like Oculus Mirror. But the reason I brought you to this tab is the recenter button. If you press the recenter button and wait 3 seconds, it will recenter your character horizontally, allowing you to play as if standing while seated. Now it's time to explore a bit. When you first come into the world, you might get disoriented and wonder where to start. First, head over to Mika, point your cursor at the quest button, and click the trigger. You'll have a starting quest, which I've already completed. Follow the path behind Mika out of the city, go across the bridge, and meet with Mika outside of the city. As we cross the bridge, do note that there is a quest objective indicator in the sky to show where I need to go, and if you bring up your mini-map and mini-quest journal with the button on your left controller, you can see that I also have a directional pointer showing what direction my quest objectives are in, the cardinal directions, and other small map keys to include quest givers, your location, chests nearby, and if you are in a party, the members will show up as a green orb. The mini-journal is currently linked with the mini-map, and does take up a fair bit of screen, so I usually leave this off unless I'm looking for something specific. The quest should automatically turn in when you get close and enter the yellow circle, and then you can accept Mika's new quest with story to reduce the sylphid numbers. Since I have other videos involving the class-specific combat, I highly recommend watching those as well, and I'll skim past this, but combat and questing is only a modest part of what the game offers. While you're free to play the game in your own way, I highly recommend taking a little time to explore as you quest. And one of the best ways to do that is to climb. Find a rock face or a building wall, reach against it, but not too far into it, and grip, then drag yourself upward. This does tax your stamina slightly as you climb, but you can let go once you pull yourself onto a ledge to replenish stamina. Additionally, if you're an Essence Mage, you have one of 3 possible role-specific mage teleports, which will enable you to breeze through some vertical travel. Once you get onto a ledge, take in the sights, get your bearings, and plan your next action. When you're ready to get down, you're probably thinking, I might take a lot of fall damage if I just drop here, and you'd probably be right. But fortunately, you can just T-pose and push off by moving forward to glide. Gliding also takes stamina, so make sure to do it with a full bar, and when you want to descend, just bring your arms together. There's an advanced technique called flapping, which involves bringing your arms just inside their tolerance to start descending, and then putting them back out again. This will allow you to maximize your horizontal distance at the cost of a small amount of vertical drop. However, if done right, this can go quite far. Just be careful you don't land yourself in a trap, because that could end badly for you. One topic I want to cover regarding combat in this video is the concept of staggering, as it is applicable to every class and role. Staggering is Zenith's choice of crowd control mechanic, and while some abilities increase stagger more than others, the basic concept is if you hit an enemy until their bar is full, they will be disoriented for a few moments, halting their attack and increasing their damage taken. This is very useful when fighting things above your level or coordinating against bosses. Additionally, to get around easily in-game, you will typically utilize the fast travel points from the menu map. However, for areas where fast travel is not an option or is not unlocked, there exist zip lines and wind currents to help you get around faster. Most zip lines require a little bit of climbing to access, and do note you can climb horizontally, but be careful as object collision can be sketchy. When you've gotten to a zip line, just grip it and you'll be lifted to the top of the zip line. From here, you can glide around and you'll notice there are wind currents floating upward. These will lift you up while replenishing some of your stamina mid-flight, and will allow you to cover more terrain quickly. These are also showcased through side quest objectives to glide through rings for bonus EXP. When you open your menu with the left controller setting button, the first tab on the lower left will open the inventory screen. On the left side, you will see your current stat readout to include your attack damage, crit chance, constitution, armor, affinity, mana, health, ability power, and stamina. At the time of writing this, occasionally your stats will not read correctly when zoning in after a teleport or death, and may require you to unequip and re-equip an item. Then, when looking at your character, you have your gear slots, to include your headpiece, your chest piece, hands, legs, boots, and your left and right weapons. When it comes to gear, there are 4 main aspects to consider as of Alpha 2. The easiest is your gear level. You can equip gear up to 2 levels above your own, and gear level typically is related to the NPC or chest's area that dropped it. There are 4 gear rarities: common, rare, epic, and legendary being the rarest, with these typically increasing the base stats as well as putting additional stat lines on the gear depending upon rarity. There are 3 gear qualities: regular, superior, and flawless, with these increasing the amount of any additional stat lines on a piece of rare or better gear. Lastly, there are enchantments you can manually add to your gear. Enchantments increase your gear's primary stat and require powder from grinding old or unused gear by dragging it to the upper right corner where your powder icon is and clicking accept. Do note that this will destroy whatever you drag there, so make sure to double check the gear you choose to grind. Once you have your dust, you can go over to one of the many terminals located all over Zenith City, and when you approach it will show you a list of items you can upgrade to include your equipped items. When you choose the item you want to upgrade, it will display how much is required to upgrade the enchantment and the chance of success. To proceed, simply pull back on the lever and boom! Enchantment successful. I suspect at higher numbers this may have a failure penalty, but at this time it does not appear to. Any items that you don't want to sell or use you can discard by dragging onto the X in the lower right of your inventory, above your money readout. And you also have quick slots that are not currently used at the time of writing this. When you look at your gear, you can see there's a 50 out of 50 or other number on the tooltip for each. This is the new durability system that was added in the last patch of Alpha 2. Now this also applies to food items as well, weirdly enough. If you need to repair something, you can go to the shop, which is currently located in Gallia Plains, and click the Next button until you get to the Mend tab. Choose the item you want to repair, it must be unequipped, and then click Mend. It's just that easy. If you want to buy items and have excess Zenith, you can go to the Shop Buy tab, and you can purchase crafting or food items, as well as random pieces of gear to include epics. Do note that at this time, these gear purchases give you a random piece per purchase, not a full set, so spend wisely. Additionally, if you don't want to grind your spare items, you can click over to the Sell tab in the shop and choose what you want to sell, and click Sell. Do note at this time there is no buyback option, so be careful if you decide to go this route. The last thing of note regarding the inventory is picking up items and placing them in your inventory, or taking them out and consuming them. To take an item that has dropped from an NPC or come out of a chest, or just something that is on the ground, simply grip it and throw it over your shoulder. You'll hear a little packing sound if successful. To take something out of your inventory, for instance a fruit that you want to eat, simply grip it from your inventory, pull it out, and then if you're consuming the item, hold it to your face until you hear a crunching sound. The second menu tab is your Godstone tab, and this shows details about any abilities you have and allows you to upgrade them at certain levels, but we'll touch on the individual skills in my other class and role specific videos. As a preface to cooking, I'm going to go outside and gather some oranges. Gathering is as simple as going up to a tree or farm plot with an item you want to collect, pointing at it, and simply using the grip button. Grabbing items, especially cooking items, has a rather far range, so you can almost summon things to your hand if you're close enough to them, and then just throw it over your shoulder like with gear items to place it in your inventory. Now that we have some oranges, let's talk about the third tab in your menu, the Life Skills tab. You can see your proficiency with gathering items by clicking the Gathering tab on the left, and your Cooking tab will show what recipes you currently know. Several recipes can be learned to start by performing quests for Cookie just across the bridge from Zenith City. However, some are rarer and must be found in chests or elsewhere. Most recipes right now have some base items that you must purchase from the shop, and though the recipe card does not mention it, most recipes will require fuel from the shop in order to heat the pots. Once you have your materials, click the Toggle Station button and then close your menu. You can read the tooltips at your leisure in-game, but to select a recipe, grab the type of deck the recipe is applicable to. In this case, we're making an orange smoothie, which falls into the Rage category, and drag the deck back onto the counter, revealing what recipes you know in that deck. Grip the specific recipe and put it onto your card scanner, and not only will your recipe readout change, but it will also preload items from your inventory provided that you have enough. So to make an orange smoothie, we start by gripping the milk and placing it into a pot. Then we grab a fuel and place it onto the coaster behind the pots. To activate the heat for the pots, simply press down on the fuel until it stays below the counter level, and you should see the pots start heating. As soon as the item changes appearance, it should be sufficiently heated, so we remove it from the pot and place it into our cauldron. Next, we take our orange, place it on the chopping board, pick up our knife, and cut it into 3 pieces. My first orange cuts were a little iffy, but there's 3 pieces, so we place that into the cauldron and then grab the other orange. This time we try to take a little more time to carefully cut the orange, and boom, 3 nice cuts. And now we put it into the cauldron, and the cauldron front will open, revealing the completed item for us to take. Some items can be a little wobbly when held currently, and it's a fun effect to play with, but when you want to eat your new creation or feed it to others, simply put it into your desired target's face, and after a few moments, nom nom, food consumed. And now you have a buff. When you're done, you can toggle your station from the menu again to put it away, or just move far enough away from it and it will despawn. Your fourth menu tab is your social tab, with friends on the left and party options on the right. If your friends are online, they'll show up under online with what level they are and what zone they're in. If offline, they'll show up as offline. At the time of writing this, if playing on a different server, friends will show up as offline, so be sure to coordinate what server you play on if you're looking to group with your friends. To create a party, simply hit create. If you're the party leader, you can use the disband button to disband the party, and if you're not the party leader, you can leave the party with the leave button. To add a friend, invite someone to your party or guild, provided that you are the leader of either, place your hand chest height with your wrist inward and your fingertips pointing outward, and grip. You'll see a colored laser pointer appear if done successfully, and when you point this at a player, after a few seconds a menu will appear with the option to add friends, party members, or guild members as applicable. The fifth tab is the Guild tab, which is where you'll go to create a guild or to look at the guild you're a part of, as well as to disband or leave a guild. To create a guild, press the button, type in a name, and click Create. Be careful, as there is no confirmation to disbanding a guild at this time, and one click will disband it. The second to last tab is your Voice Channel tab. Not only can you adjust your volume levels here, but you can also, if partied or in a guild, join a party voice channel or a guild voice channel, which will allow you to not be part of the global proximity voice channel, but have direct comms with your party or guild with no proximity requirement. Do note that when channels swap, occasionally the voice channel will be higher than what you have it set at, but simply dialing it up and then back down to where you had it will reset this. Also, there are mute buttons for your voice audio, located at the very bottom of the menu screen, and when active these will put indicators near your name for other players so they know you're not active in the channel. Moving on to the World Map tab, you get an overview of the world of Zenith. Clicking double green arrows allows you to fast travel to the location, and these appear as you unlock them through the story. The star with a circle around it and an arrow is your position indicator, with a directional indicator that you can see shift when you turn your head slightly. This helps you to identify what direction you need to go in next for quest objectives. You also have quest givers, identified by the little running man icons, though they may not have quests for you at that time. The cart icon indicates where the shop is located to buy, sell, and repair your gear, although presently the only one is located in Galia Plains, just outside of Zenith. Active quest objectives will be marked with a purple exclamation mark, and active events will be marked by a red trophy icon, and these active events are essentially group quests that occur regularly and serve as an additional source of experience. When mousing over any of these icons, you can see additional details where they exist in a tooltip that appears when hovering over the icon. Do note that if you're just starting out, the only two locations you will have available for fast travel are Zenith City and the Tavern, which is more of a hangout at this time. The pencil-looking tab is your quest journal, which shows active quests as well as those you've completed, separated by category. For some quests, there are abandon buttons available, but edgewise, nothing too crazy here. The shield tab is the instancing tab, which allows you to queue up for the instanced level 30 dungeon/raid content. At the time of writing this, the only available dungeon was the Corrupted Reliquary, which was pretty interesting and ties in with the story. To leave an instance, you would reopen this tab and choose Leave Instance. Rejoin instance is available in the event you disconnect, etc. Most of the information and buttons on the menu page are currently available on other tabs more cleanly, and essentially this is just the tab where you would come to exit out of the game. At this time there is no formal logout button, and when switching characters or servers you must fully exit the game and reopen and log in. Thanks for watching, future Zenithian. I hope you found this guide useful, and to see more like this, make sure to subscribe. Also, check out the combat videos I'll be linking below. If you want to support the channel, smash that like button, and I'll end this video with a couple of clips I recorded just moments before the servers went down. Oh, I saw it and it disappeared. It rendered and then it disappeared. It had some text on it too. I don't know what it said.
Welcome to Schmooze Island.
Really? That's crazy. Yeah, it rendered and it despawned for me. Oh wait, no, here it is. Welcome to Schmooze Island, yo! Let's go! Boom, 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 boom! Woo!
I was exactly that excited when I made it here.
I don't know why it's that exciting, but it is.
I made it!
Take that, you devs, up there in your flying fortress! It's fine, I can adjust it after. That airship is still watching me. Hell yeah, dude. Yo, let's go. Baz was here. Let's go. Let's go. Hell yes. We did it, chat. A graffiti. Alpha 2 graffiti with flour. Epic. I love this so much.